not lament, Seekers. Your sacrifice is not in vain.
He's just a child. Looks it, yes. But I sense something more. Something sinister.
Junk.
Nailed shut. They won't budge.
Seems someone wants to keep me out. I've spotted something.
This again?
Seekers, take heart. It does no harm while we keep watch.
It so warms my heart to see you again. I serve the Seekers in death as I did in life. 5 wicks, 5 wardens, and 1 mistake. Caged and muted.
The unlit candle nearby flickers briefly to life. The spirit shakes her head and waves you off.
You must leave me be. I can't let myself be distracted.
The spirit acknowledges your presence with a slight bow, then turns her attentions to the candle in front of her. She does not respond to your attempts to speak.
Mistake lives. We shall not.
The spirit shakes his head as you near. He does not wish to speak.
You've come far, Godwoken. The Seekers were right to put their faith in you. I serve the Seekers in death as I did in life. 5 wicks.
The unlit candle...
Leave me be! I mustn't falter again.
You do not know me, but I know you, and it is good to see you well. I serve the Seekers in death as I did in life.
The unlit candle...
Leave me be.
Keep memories of Lucian.
Be quick. I don't have much attention to spare. I serve the Seekers in death as I did in life.
The unlit candle...
Leave me be.
Please, I'm so cold.
The red-scaled Godwoken has come, as I foresaw, and as I feared. The Seekers have suffered enough for their mistake. For them. For us. Turn and go. A friend? a seeker, and a guardian. I attend the caged monster before you.
The spirit whips his head towards the caged boy. His eyes narrow, even as the child's widen in apparent terror.
It was Gareth that brought him to us. Charon, the first God-woken the Seekers found. He ate our food, he enjoyed our fellowship. We nurtured him and taught him.
We elevated him, presented him to the Order. Here he is, we cried, a claimant to divinity. Lucian's cathedral wouldn't remain empty for long. We were certain of it.
We were giddy, high on our own success. We should have seen the massacre coming, but we didn't. I was the first to die, but hardly the last.
This is our penance, and this is his punishment. Do not release him. Do not release the monster.
I didn't do nothing wrong, I swear.
Beast, an apt word. He took to the skies if on wings of pure source. I might think a wyvern were attacking, had I not seen for myself his raging eyes.
The child whimpers, poking at a paternal instinct you rarely acknowledged.
Lucian's righteous light guided Gareth and Siva. They blinded him, caged him, but the damage was done. The Seekers were disbanded. Dallas was empowered. And we will never know the comfort of the Hall of Echoes. This is our penance, and the Seeker's burden. Don't make light of the Seeker's sacrifices. Walk on. Don't look back. Let the mistake remain where it belongs, in the past.
Am I gonna die?
Behold madness, Captain. While the snake lives, we shall not be free.
Am I gonna die? You gotta let me out of here.
Take heart. It does no harm. Keep watch.
Rubbish.
Please. I wouldn't do anything wrong, mister. You gotta believe me. Let me out, please. I'm not a mistake. The Magisters put this collar on me because I can make fire with my fingers. Then they just left me here. They're so mean.
The boy's frown turns to a smile, and he beams like the summer sun. He reminds you of the Empire's youngest, new sprouts budding into warriors, barristers, dreamers.
You're so cool. Why are you all red like that? Can I touch your scales? Aww.
The child squeezes a few tears out. They drip down his face in big, shimmering droplets.
Can you let me out now? I don't think the Magisters are ever coming back. I've been asking myself the same question. They said I did some really bad things, but I'd never do anything wrong. Never, ever. Oh, please, let me out. I'm not sure. It's got something to do with the braziers, that's all I know. I think you gotta just light them all.
He gives you a look that is at once hopeful and hopeless. One last tear slides down his impossibly pink cheek. A hungry kitten couldn't look more plaintive.
You must not let the fire burn. The flames mustn't be kindled. The flames mustn't be kindled.
Can't you help me?
Please, Lizard, go.
The spirit shakes his head as you near. He does not wish to speak.
No. This cannot be.
No, you mustn't.
Am I gonna die? I just want to go home. Can't you help me? Can't you help me?
Such a bleeding heart. You could have left me here. Should have left me here. But you just couldn't resist those great big watery puppy dog eyes, could you? You're weak. But then, Siva's standards were always uneven. Looking at me, then looking at you, that hasn't changed. A trick I learned along the way. A way to use my powers. They call us by so many different names, don't they? First sorcerer, then godwoken, all the while dangling another one in front of us. Divine.
You want it bad, don't you? You're chasing this thing, this label. Maybe you're trying to save the world. Maybe you're just doing it because they tell you to.
The Seekers told me the same thing. They told me I could rise. I could be the next Divine. I fell for it. Well, who wouldn't, eh? I saw the light. But not in the way they'd expected. I heard the voice. Lucian himself. He gave me the truth. He told me to carry it. He made me real. And he showed me Ahu and the Seekers. He showed me that they're traitors. They have him captive, you know. Oh, yes. He's alive, but he's imprisoned. He has instructed me to free him from his enemies. The Seekers doubted me. Lucian told me to express myself, so I did. I showed those Seekers exactly what I could do. Seekers might be faithful, but they sure as hell aren't smart. The last time they tried to stop me from expressing myself, I killed a dozen of them stone dead. I am no mistake. Mistake was theirs. I cannot be held responsible for a mistake I did not make. The mistake was theirs, and they make it still. You see, Ahu and the Seekers have Lucian imprisoned beneath the tomb. They tap into his source and use it for themselves. I know how to access his cell. I can show you the way once we pass the path of blood. Together we can do this. Together we can save Lucian. Together we are the truth. What do you say?
His help could be useful, if he speaks the truth.
I knew you'd see sense. You and me, our minds are sharp. We are clarity. We are the truth. Lucian's tomb is not his final resting place, but I will see you there. Then we'll see where Lucian really lies. Then we'll tell the truth. Then we'll set him free. Until then, bye-bye.
was sure I saw torchlight down there.
I've spotted something.
I was sure I saw torchlight down there. That unlocked something. Or locked it.
Definitely hear the catch of a lock.
There's enough death fog here to kill everyone in arcs.
What's this? I found something.
A guard rushes in front of you, and before you can flinch, the point of a sharp spear draws a bead of blood from the artery in your neck.
Halt! State your name. Now!
Oh, for goodness sake, woman, lower your spear. That is no way to greet a guest.
Isbeil, I've not known you to be so welcoming to strangers.
Have I yet to disappoint your highness in matters of security?
Your Majesty?
Do as she says. Lower your spear.
Yes. Of course, my queen. I'm watching you.
Your highness, bloom of Duna, flame of the forge, I present to you the spouse of the sun, the world tamer, the Red Prince.
Queen Justinia sucks in her cheeks, then offers you her unwavering hand. The Queen retracts her hand and rewards your reverence with a curt nod.
An audience is granted. I am yet too intrigued to give my leave. Now tell me, Isbeil, why do you allow the Crimson Prince before me?
My queen, the scaled specimen before you is a god-woken, a claimant to the divine throne.
The Queen wrinkles her face and gives Isbeil a sideways glance. Isbeil's red-brown eyes meet her gaze head-on.
Many have laid claim to Lucian's legacy, including his own inferior spawn. I presume our visitor has more than a vague title to boast of.
The God-woken has proven himself a worthy combatant in the joys arena of the One. His name was on the lips of all who roamed there.
I appreciate the effort in gaining the respect of one's fellow refugees. You have my attention, God-woken, if not my adulation.
Isbeil looks to the Queen and speaks further of your deeds.
He has escaped the island prison to which the Order confined him, a feat deserving a modicum of respect.
A refugee from the Joy, then. Impressive. Few avoid the Magister's watchful eyes. Can this God-woken declare other triumphs, Isbeil?
With a brief Isbeil carries on.
The God-woken arrogated the Lady Vengeance, the very vessel that terrorized the high seas under the Hammer's command.
The Queen's eyes grow wide, and she nods appreciatively, then looks to Isbeil to continue the ovations.
His triumphs as champion of Driftwood are known to all dwarves of Reaper's Coast. This title is not effortlessly earned.
Yes, it seems you've proven yourself familiar with sword and source. The raucous one would not assign the honor of champion lightly.
The God-woken has slain his very own. Alexander, son of the Lake Divine, has fallen to his superior might.
Indeed. Slayed by your hand, then. The cub once pleaded with me to aid in his sorcerer pogrom. I cannot deplore your actions, as loath as I am to admit it.
The great sorcerer Riker, a lone wolf known for his manipulation of the innocent dead, died by our visitor's hand, Your Majesty.
I do not know of this Riker. I trust his death was well deserved.
Our venerated guest has brought hope to the elven tribes by ending the slaughter of their ancestors.
So you eliminated the butcher responsible, I presume. You have earned your swagger, my good man.
My queen, the God-woken hobbled the Black Ring by slicing off one of its limbs, a necromancer known as the Sallow Man.
Isbeil's hot stare burns into your soul. You meet her gaze with one of your own, though you know you could never match her intensity.
Splendid. The Black Ring has proven a chaotic element at a time when control is imperative. I'm overawed, truly.
I've no more of your accomplishments to announce. If I didn't know better, I'd think you almost vain. Well, I see no reason to mince words, God-woken. You're here to die.
Isbeil, whatever's gotten into you? Malodorous it may be, but this is still a court, not a gallows.
Your Majesty, The Godwoken is no ally, but enemy. He would throw your plans in disarray. You have worked so hard. Arcs must fall to the death fog.
I am no monster. Isbeil, what say you?
Justinia turns to Isbeil, looking for answers or comfort, and Isbeil begins to chuckle. Her laugh is low and measured at first, but grows in magnitude until she can barely breathe.
Oh, but you're a clever one, aren't you, Prince? Fine. I'm tired of pretending I serve this weak wench anyway. But it doesn't matter. You can't stop the death fog. The wheels are in motion.
Isbeil?
Shut your royal maw, Justinia. Arcs will fall and your memory writ. They will believe it was your will, your plan, your command.
For a moment, Isbeil appears almost relaxed. Her eyes flash blue, her face quivers.
Isbeil?
My queen, forgive me, I...
Isbeil screams in pain and clutches her head. She bobs and sways, muttering to herself. You can make out few words, but you recognize the language. It is the eternal tongue.
The covenant will be kept. I serve you with living and dying breath. My king, glory be to you.
You blink yourself awake to the cold gaze of 1,000 stones and the hot gaze of the dwarf Isbeil, right hand of the queen.
Oh, good. You're awake. Yeah, at first I figured I'd just kill you. But then I thought, Isbeil, you're wasting an opportunity here. Don't bother thanking me just yet, though. I dare say you'll be begging to die before long. So I'll start with lesser toxins, just to see how you react, and take it from there. How strong a dose can a Godwoken handle? How long does it take for one to succumb? So many questions.
Your lips open, but no words spill forth. You try to lift your head, but it is no match for gravity. She has paralyzed you. Only your eyes are free to move.
Don't fight it. You'll only make things worse. Oh, but I've been so rude. You should know the real me. Oh, it's good to give myself a rest. Those masks can be darned pesky. What's that, boy? What are you trying to tell me? Are you hungry? Do you want to play? Did someone fall down a well? Oh, you're so precious when you try to talk. Now, make yourself comfortable. The harder you fight, the harder the experiment will be on you. Oh, that dose proves quite alarming for my normal subject. Let's try a new approach, shall we? Let's see now. I have just the thing. Just a spritz, mind you.
You struggle to move, and you feel your toes wiggle, and your fingers twitch. The paralysis is waning.
Interesting. Some of the results are quite unexpected. Now, let's move on to death fog. Live or die, you've already proven most... Well, I was going to say useful, but perhaps entertaining is the better word.
Isbeil turns the valve, but no fog wafts forth. In that moment, you feel your bones and muscles awaken. You've regained control of your body at last.
What's wrong with it? Guards! Come! The Godwoken's broken free of my spell!
I've got
this, doesn't it?
riddance to a bad dwarf. Now, to find Queen Justinia.
You look at your companions in shock. Black Ring influence or not, the enormity of the Queen's plan is revealed. To kill everyone in the city.
An eye for an eye is all well and good. Thousands of eyes for an eye is somewhat of an exaggeration.
You can't fight darkness with darkness. You just can't. Whatever she intended, the end result will be more death and destruction.
So if I have it right, she kills thousands of someone else's people to save thousands of her own. I rather fail to see the issue here.
The spirit laughs soundlessly at something unseen. You realize that what you thought was a maniacal glint in his eye is, in fact, the last glowing embers of the acidic fire that burned his eyeballs away. His laughter turns into a scream, and then he is gone.
Do you think Arx is safe in my death? I faced the grave before, you know. Yet through the God King, I have eternal life. The Master's purpose is his own to speak, not mine. You're good with words, so sincere. I almost believed you. But let's pretend I fell for your little persuasion game. I'll tell you the Black Ring's plans on one condition. You release the Death Fog. You bring my mission to an end.
The spirit pauses, then nods.
The God King feeds on war, on death, on disease. On the rich source the living once carried within them, knowingly or not. I think this clear by now. The Death Fog was not just a murder bomb, but a tool. A tool for sowing discord. A tool for pitting the Order against the Dwarven Kingdom. A tool for ridding us of those who would see us fail. Every race, every creed, and every claimant to the title of Divine.
Isbeil's voice rises, and her fists tighten. You presume she'd have gone red with fury, were she not wholly translucent.
The flesh of every Magister melted like butter in the sun. The Paladins' eyes bugged out in horror as they watched their spouses and children choke on the death fog, clogging their lungs. There would be screams first. Then silence.
The spirit's eyes and mouth narrow. In her silence, the noise of splashing sewer water bounces from the stony walls and into your ears. You have lit Isbeil's fire. She is a bomb, a banshee, an erupting volcano.
You couldn't know! You weren't there! When the portal opened and the death fog poured in, you weren't there! To see their skin burst, to see the blood bubbles foam from their mouths. Have you ever felt your own saliva sizzle? Have you ever felt your own brain pressing against the inside of your skull? I have felt it. That agony was the doing of the Divine. for his order to suffer the same fate. Is not punishment enough? In death, I was given a chance. I made a decision. One that I have never regretted. This is not your judgment to make, but the God King's. He has come. I am ready for his gift and his sanction.
A nauseating wave of pain and fear washes from the spirit. Pain from what was inflicted upon her, and fear that her suffering would never end. The pain you inflict on her is real, but she realizes that it will soon be at an end. She gives herself to you. The spirit struggles for breath, a breath that will never come. An eternity choking to death beckons.
What's this? I found something.
Twisted and torn in her heart and her mind, the spirit emits an unbearable desire for it all to be over, for good and forever. The great machine sits before you. Pipework tentacles outwards and upwards, the conduits piercing the ground overhead, wending their way towards the city and her people above. Even through the seals of the great cistern, you scent the acrid sting of the death fog inside. A faint gossamer of death fog rises from a junction where the release valve meets a pipe. A switch allows redirection to a different pipe, labeled C. The junction currently leads to a pipe labeled Arcs.
Destroy this thing. There's no time to waste. I don't trust that leak. I say flip the switch, send the death fog to the water, away from the city.
Redirect the death fog. Better to poison the fishes than to poison the people.
The machine creaks to life, and the death fog begins to flow through the other pipe. You hear the howl of the fog as it travels the pipe towards the sea, and the machine winds down. The cistern is empty. All is silent.
I've spotted something.
That sounds like the Queen.
Isbeil, show yourself.
Isbeil, the traitor! Where is she? I will split her black skull in two!
By whose hand? Yours? It should have been my own axe to slice her neck. Take me to her bones. I've a mind to chop them into pieces, the foul witch!
Justinia struggles to control her rage. She closes her eyes. She breathes the Sue's fetid air. She waits.
She is dead. And that is that. She was a scientist of sorts, or so the town criers chanted. She knew of the ways of nature and beyond, and I invited her to court to show me. She healed the sick and soothed the wounded. I saw it with my own eyes. I brought her close. Her words were wise, and her aims, well, they seemed so pure. It was after Alexander assembled the quorum that Isbeil turned my mind to thoughts of war. Our scouts and spies aided dwarven sorcerers where and when they could, but Isbeil insisted the monks and shriekers would touch dwarven land. When we came to Arx to prepare, she rarely left my side except to tend to her laboratory. I'd no idea what atrocities she'd been committing there.
Justinia pounds a fist against her palm. One smack, then a second, then a third.
You may not believe me, but what I did, I thought I did for the sake of my people. The sinking of the Peacemaker, the driftwood smuggling operation, the Death Fog, Black Peak Isle. Power always comes at a great cost. Sometimes you have to take some lives to save others. And I shall always put dwarven lives first. You must understand this. It was only a matter of time, she said. And I never doubted it. The scouts talked of living weapons nailed to crosses, of blank-faced wizards, an entire force of them. If we didn't come for the Order, the Magisters and Paladins, they would come for us. They had my ear all the while, the Black Ring. I'm sorry. Truly sorry. To think of it.
The void closes in then. It's so much more dangerous than even Death Fog. Death Fog we can see and smell. The void is empty, intangible. We don't know it's there until its creatures are upon us. Kem? Linda Kem? All the better that he's avoiding Paulina like the porcine plague then. The Kem estate is the only safe haven remaining for me in this burning city. This Black Ring rot has infected the very soil we tread and the air we breathe. I must not let it reach the kingdom. So unless you've no more grievances to air...
How many innocent lives will die before you see reason? Kill her!
Forgive her. Justinia has learned from her mistakes. Let her return to her people in peace.
End it here and now. The Queen's continued rule will only lead her people to ruin.
Arx's air is clear of death fog, yet you would still see me dead. That's not justice, it's savagery. The Queen will reign, with or without your permission.
I'm ready.
Is mine! Doesn't it?
Glory is mine!
I'll yield to none!
Glory is mine! Glory is mine!
Isbeil leached the source from these people.
The spirit before you is paper-thin, as though there was hardly enough source in it to manifest at all. You used source to heal a sick child. The Magisters threw you in jail. Then, in the night, came the dwarves. They marched you blindfolded through the sewers, clapped you in irons, and took you apart for your source.
Take me away from here, please. She can't keep us here.
A humble builder, when your source powers surfaced, you knew you were in for the joy. But you ended up here, stolen from your cell. They took you apart in search of your source. You died, screaming.
Junk.
This again?
Papa? Help me, Papa. The lady took something from me.
Junk.
This again? Isbeil was planted in the royal court quite some time ago. This conspiracy has been a long time brewing.
Godwoken, how can I help? We were naive. We needed a Godwoken to ascend, and we assumed that a Godwoken would merit ascension. Our error cost us dear. Many died. But the mistake did not ascend. For that we can be grateful. It was a painful lesson on the dangers of the Godwoken. But if the mistake did not ascend, perhaps divinity would indeed alight on the most deserving. I hope this is the case, eh, Godwoken? The hell you say? This is disastrous! He must be destroyed! His insanity can no longer be allowed to endanger the world! I'll give you a warning now, Godwoken. When the time comes, as it surely must, he will make it as difficult for you to kill him as he can. He will pull at your heartstrings. He will offer you a deal. But you must not listen. You must not hesitate to kill him. Godwoken, how can I help? We should have killed Charon. But at the time, we had no other Godwoken. And besides, he was very, very powerful. He must be destroyed. His insanity can no longer be allowed to endanger the world.
You must truly savor my company, Godwoken. Something you wanted?
You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win. No one's ever regretted having extra help in a fight. I'll guarantee you that.
always bring me to such wonderfully destructive places. I'll never find somewhere quiet to settle down at this rate.
I would have preferred a more discreet arrival in Arx myself. I am still a fugitive after all.
They won't let you down.
Like to take a look by all means.
You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory now.
Good find.
Godwoken, how can I help? We should have killed Carol. Godwoken, how can I help? Go with honor.